Today, we examine a high-stakes conflict that has captured the attention of the nation and sent shockwaves through the halls of power in Washington, D.C. It's a showdown between two powerful American leaders, each representing not just themselves, but the values and beliefs of millions. The date is January 6, 2026, a day that will soon be remembered for more than just its place on the calendar. On one side stands Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona. He's not just a lawmaker, but a decorated Navy combat pilot and a former NASA astronaut, a man who has risked his life both in the skies and in space. His reputation for courage and integrity has earned him respect across party lines. On the other side is Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense under President Trump. Hegseth is a veteran himself, a former Army officer, and now holds the immense responsibility of overseeing the entire U.S. military. His leadership style is bold, direct, and unapologetically patriotic. These two men, with sharply different backgrounds and philosophies, are now locked in a very public and deeply personal battle, one that has quickly become a symbol of a much larger struggle within the country. The issue at the heart of their conflict? Whether retired military officers should have the right to speak out about government actions, especially when those actions are controversial or unpopular. Senator Kelly, a Democrat, insists that free speech is a core American right, even for veterans who have left active service. He argues that silencing these voices would set a dangerous precedent and undermine the very freedoms they fought to protect. Secretary Hegseth, representing a Republican administration, counters that certain statements from retired officers can undermine military discipline, erode public trust, and even threaten national security. He believes that some limits are necessary to preserve order and unity within the ranks. What began as a single video message posted online by a retired general has now escalated into a national debate, sparking heated arguments on cable news, social media, and in living rooms across America. The question of who gets to speak and who decides has never felt more urgent. The outcome of this confrontation will affect not just these two men, but all who have worn the uniform, past, present, and future. Veterans across the country are watching, wondering what this means for their own voices and their place in society. At stake is the delicate balance between maintaining military order and protecting the fundamental right to speak out. The decisions made here could set a precedent for generations to come. This is more than a personal feud. It's a test of American democracy itself, a moment that will reveal how the nation navigates the tension between security and liberty. The nation is watching closely, as every new development is dissected and debated by citizens, lawmakers, and military families alike. The story begins with a single video, a spark that ignited a firestorm, and a question that will define the future of American civil-military relations. In November 2025, Senator Kelly and 5 other lawmakers, all with military or intelligence backgrounds, released a video that would quickly capture national attention. These were not just any politicians. Each had served their country in uniform or in the intelligence community, bringing a unique credibility to their message. Their message was directed specifically at active duty service members, the men and women currently serving on the front lines and behind the scenes, entrusted with the nation's security. In the video, the lawmakers reminded troops of the solemn oath they had taken, to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, above all else. This oath, they stressed, is not just a formality, but a binding promise that defines the very core of military service. The lawmakers emphasized a crucial point: orders must be lawful. They explained that the chain of command is built on trust, but that trust depends on the legality and morality of the orders given. Service members, they said, have a legal and moral duty to refuse illegal orders. This responsibility is not just theoretical, it is a real safeguard against abuses of power and a protection for those who serve. This principle is a foundation of military justice, taught to every recruit from the very beginning of their service. In classrooms and training grounds across the country, new service members learn that following unlawful orders is itself a violation of the law. The video was not a call for disobedience, but a reminder of the law and the values that underpin the military's role in a democracy. The lawmakers were careful to clarify that their intent was to reinforce, not undermine, the chain of command. The lawmakers felt it was their responsibility to reinforce this message, especially in a tense political climate where the boundaries of authority and loyalty were being tested. They wanted to ensure that every service member understood where their ultimate duty lay. Their message was clear: Loyalty to the Constitution comes before loyalty to any leader or party. The rule of law, they argued, is what binds the nation together and protects its freedoms. The video restated existing law, aiming to protect both service members and the nation itself from unlawful commands or political pressure. It was a proactive step to prevent confusion or misuse of authority in uncertain times. It was a public affirmation of a core democratic value, that the military serves the Constitution, not any individual. The lawmakers hoped this would reassure the public and the armed forces alike. But what was meant as a reminder soon became a flashpoint. The video sparked heated debate across the country, with some praising the lawmakers' courage and others questioning their motives. The Pentagon saw it very differently. Officials expressed concern that the message could be misinterpreted, potentially undermining military discipline or sowing doubt within the ranks. The stage was set for confrontation, a clash not just of personalities, but of principles at the heart of American democracy. The Pentagon quickly took notice of the lawmakers' video. Instead of viewing it as a helpful reminder, officials saw it as a potential threat to military order. An investigation was launched into possible misconduct by Senator Kelly and the others. By December, the probe escalated into a formal command investigation. Secretary Hegseth made it clear. This was a serious breach in his view. The focus was whether the video undermined the chain of command and discipline. On January 5, 2026, Secretary Hegseth publicly accused Senator Kelly of misconduct. The Pentagon was not just issuing a warning, it was preparing to take action. What began as an internal review exploded into a national controversy. The military's response was far more severe than anyone expected. The conflict was now public, political, and deeply consequential. The next move would be decisive. Secretary Hegseth's announcement was blunt and forceful. He accused Senator Kelly of making seditious statements, encouraging rebellion against authority. Hegseth argued that telling troops to question orders, even illegal ones, could erode trust and discipline. He issued a formal letter of censure, placing a permanent mark on Kelly's military record. More seriously, Hegseth initiated retirement-grade determination proceedings, threatening to demote Kelly and reduce his retirement pay. This was not just symbolic, it had real financial and reputational consequences. Kelly was given 30 days to respond to the charges. The process would conclude within 45 days. Hegseth framed these actions as necessary to protect military discipline from political interference. The secretary had made his move, escalating the conflict to a new level. The stakes for Kelly, and for the principle of free speech, had never been higher. The nation braced for Kelly's response. The battle lines were drawn. Senator Kelly responded swiftly and defiantly, refusing to let the accusations go unanswered. His reaction was immediate, and his tone left no doubt. He was ready to stand his ground, no matter the cost. On social media, Kelly didn't mince words. He called the Pentagon's actions outrageous, wrong, and un-American, making it clear to his followers and the public that he saw this as a direct attack on the values he had sworn to uphold. His posts quickly went viral, sparking heated discussions across the country. In interviews and press conferences, Kelly emphasized that this was not just about his own rank or benefits. He insisted it was about the fundamental right to free speech, a right enshrined in the Constitution and essential to American democracy. He reminded everyone that the ability to criticize the government is what sets the United States apart from so many other nations. Kelly warned that punishing him for speaking out would set a dangerous precedent, threatening every American's right to criticize the government. He argued that if his voice could be silenced, so could the voices of countless others who dared to speak truth to power. He didn't hold back in his criticism of Secretary Hegseth, accusing him of being unqualified for the position and acting out of purely political motives. Kelly suggested that the secretary's actions were less about justice and more about silencing dissent. Kelly's message was clear. This was a fight not just for himself, but for the rights of all who serve, and for the very soul of American democracy. He spoke directly to service members, assuring them that their voices mattered and that he would not let their rights be trampled. With unwavering resolve, he vowed to fight the charges with everything he had, promising his supporters and colleagues that he would not be intimidated or silenced. Kelly's response became both a personal defense and a rallying cry for those who believed in the importance of free expression. His words inspired rallies and drew support from across the political spectrum. He refused to back down, framing the conflict as a battle for American values, and urging others to join him in defending the principles that define the nation. The confrontation quickly became a national test of principle. News outlets covered every development, and the public debate only intensified as more people took sides. The outcome would resonate far beyond the Senate or the Pentagon, shaping the future of free speech and government accountability for years to come. Senator Kelly's most powerful statement cut to the heart of the issue. He accused the administration of trying to intimidate all veterans into silence. "They don't get to decide what Americans in this country get to say about their government," Kelly declared. This was a direct offense of the First Amendment. Kelly argued that free speech belongs to the people, not the government. He warned that silencing dissent is the path of dictatorships, not democracies. His words became a rallying point for those defending the right to speak out. The law is clear. Service members must refuse illegal orders. This is enshrined in the Uniform Code of Military Justice. Legal experts overwhelmingly agree. Reminding troops of this duty is not misconduct. There's a crucial difference between sedition and upholding the law. Even Secretary Hegseth has previously acknowledged this principle. Critics argue that the action against Kelly is political, not legal. The real dispute is over interpretation. Was the video a threat to discipline or a lawful reminder? Most experts side with Kelly, but the power to enforce the rules lies with the Secretary of Defense. The controversy is as much about politics as it is about law. The stakes for military justice and free speech are enormous. This conflict is about more than two men. It's about the rights of all Americans. At its core, can veterans and citizens criticize their government without fear? Critics say punishing Kelly is an attack on free speech and a warning to others. Veterans who defended the Constitution now face questions about their own rights. The case could chill political speech among those who served. Democracy depends on open debate and accountability. If the government can punish dissent, everyone's rights are at risk. The outcome will set a precedent for the future. This is a test of American values and the strength of its democracy. The nation waits to see what kind of country it will be. As of January 6, 2026, the story is still unfolding. Senator Kelly has 30 days to respond to the charges. A special military board will review the evidence and make a recommendation. The final decision is expected by mid-February. Public debate and pressure may influence the outcome. Kelly's rank, retirement pay, and reputation are on the line. But the larger issue is the right to free speech for all Americans, especially veterans. The decision will set a precedent for future conflicts between government power and individual rights. The nation is watching, and the consequences will be lasting. The fight for democracy continues.